Hi everyone, this is Raquel from scrapcosy. Today it's a very special night for me. It is my third release of stamps and stencils for PaperArtsy, and I can't be happier. This release is about Christmas, and although it's September, after going crazy creating all these samples, I feel it's Christmas already. Did I say I went crazy? Yes, I couldn't stop myself from creating different things with all the stamps and stencils on the release. I created a Christmas panel, a calendar, a bunch of cards, and a bunch of tags. And although I have videos for all of them, I can share all of them at once, or my video would last until Christmas. Tonight we will just see how to create 9 of these tags using the vintage frame stamp set and the diamonds and baroque stencil. And in the following months I'll share the rest of the videos. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of them. Okay, now let's get started. I'm selecting the 3 frames that are small enough as to fit in those tags, and I'm stamping them using VersaFine ink. After stamping the empty frames on each tag, I will stamp the sentiment in the center. I designed the frames so they were empty, so you could fit the 3 sentiments that I included in the set. I've included a Merry Christmas, a thank you, and a happy birthday, because I believe those are the sentiments that most people use. At least, they are the sentiments that I use the most. My stamping is done, so the next thing that I will do is using my stencil. I've designed these so you could replace and create a diamond background as big as you need. You can reposition it anywhere you need. I'm using here some vintage photo distress ink, and I'm creating that first pattern on the first tag. I'll repeat the same on the second tag with the same color, and also I'll use fire brick on the third tag to do the same. And then what I will be doing is swapping colors and replacing my stencil so I cover the original diamonds, and with a different color, in this case for smooth, I'm going to fill in the gaps, creating a second set of diamonds, and that will give me a very nice double colored background. Do you like it? So this is how the technique works, and basically you can combine any colors that you please. For these 3 tags I'm combining red and green on this one. Then on the next one I'll be combining brown and green, and on the last one I will combine 2 shades of brown. I'm using for these tags regular distress ink, but I imagine that this technique would be so much fun as well if you played around with distress oxides. It would be a bolder result, and then it would also react with water. Because we are not done yet, the technique is not over. We are going to create the 3 patterns, but then we are going to use the distress properties. Before doing that, I will edge the edges of all the tags with a little bit of vintage photo distress ink, and I would soften those gaps, which as of now are white, to put a little bit of this cream color or sepia color, vintage color basically, and then also to cover the center of the sentiment, so they are more vintage style. And once I finish with the 3, then I'll start playing around with water. You just need to spread some water on top of it, or put some water in the hand as I'm doing here, and putting some drops on top of the cards. The bigger drops, the bigger the effect you will get. Basically, water is like bleach for dyes, so distress inks react with water as if it was bleach. And as you can see, the bigger the drops, the more white spaces you'll get. So here I'm making it reacting with different layers and spritzes of water, and I'm heat setting in the meantime and putting more water and drying again until I finally like the final result and I'm happy with my tags. And once I finish, I'll get my distress ink and go around the edges again with a sponge dauber. I want to soften a little bit some of those drops that perhaps are too white, and I also want to define my edges a little bit more. And this is the final result. Do you like them? And I created this only with 3 different distress ink colors among the 50 available in the palette. So imagine what you can do. And now we are going to the next 3 different tags. In this case I'm going to swap my sentiment, and I will create 3 different ones. One for happy birthday, another one for Merry Christmas, and another one for thank you. So as you can see, all the sentiments fit in all the frames, so you can reuse them indistinctly. And of course you can put them upside down if you please. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is mixing some infusions, in this case golden sands, with some satin glaze. And what I'm doing is covering my sentiment because I want to protect it as well as giving it a little bit of color. I really love golden sands. If I had to pick just one infusions to go, to a desert island or something, it would definitely be this color. So I'm doing this on the 3 sentiments, and the reason behind is that afterwards I'm going to play with some infusions and water, and I don't want my color to go away, and I actually also want to protect these from the water. And of course, if you have glaze, then you have time to dry the infusions that sits on top, and it will not stain it. So you will keep that yellow if you need to. Now I'm placing my stencil on top of the tag, and I will be working with some Grunge paste. This is also a favorite product. Since I started using it, I can't move away from it. It's a paste that you can actually heat set it, so you're ready to go to the next step. Perfect for your mixed media projects. I'm cleaning that excess of Grunge paste, so I rebuild my frame again. And then I will carry on and put some more Grunge paste on top of all the tag, so then I can create a uniform pattern fully complete. That will be for my next tag only. The other ones you'll see that they're a little bit different. This paste you can also sand it, so you can kind of do a resist if you want to. Or just if, for instance, we're going to cover it with infusions and you actually want it white as it was, then if you sand it, you will lose that color that you put on top and reveal again that white. And remember, if you're going to place again the stencil on top, it's better to heat set the Grunge paste in between layers, so that you don't mess around with it. It dries very quickly, you could wait instead of heat setting it, but for me I prefer to just heat set and move on to the next step. And then what I'm doing is just filling in those gaps, which were a bit missing, and then I will be done with this first tag. For the next one I'll be quicker, because I don't want a full pattern. I want actually a destroyed pattern, so halfway diamonds, because I will fill partially the background with Grunge paste and partially with another product. And I will do the same on the 2 tags with 2 different products. So one, it's kind of ready, and as you see I went pretty quickly on this one, and on the other one I will kind of repeat the same, a bit more sparingly even. By the way, if you want to check the full stamp set, there is a link in my description from this video, so you can go to my blog and check it out. And if you really like them, they are available in my Etsy shop for you to buy. Also, if you want to know what type of products I was using on this video, there will be available in the description as well. The number of supplies that I'm using is minimal, and with that you get very nice results, as you will see. Okay, final tag is ready. And for the final step, I will heat set it and the other tag as well. And now I will go back to my first tag, the fully patterned one. I'm applying some Sleight blue on top of it. Normally I don't put much, but in this case I decided to go for it and then see what all that color could give me. And as you can see here, because I have the glaze, I have the chance to remove some of those powders that were on top of the happy birthday, so my sentiment keeps still clear and I can still read it. And now I'm going to heat set it so everything is dry. If there is a big drop there, I can kind of remove it with the napkin. But remember, if you use the napkin, then you're going to remove a lot of stain, so you're going to soften that a little bit. On the next tag, what I'm going to do is fill in those gaps, so the full pattern, with some ink. The infusions will react differently with the Grunge paste, differently with the area of the paper that has ink, and different with the paper itself. So I will get like 3 tones there, kind of. Again, I'm applying some infusions on top, a lot. This time is olive tree. And then I'm cleaning my sentiment when I apply some water to make sure that it's still readable. And then with the heat done, I'm going to heat set it. I'll apply more infusions and more water. This time I'm applying a little bit of golden sands because I want this green to be a bit yellower. And then heat setting it, all of it. It takes a while to dry the surface, but you have to be patient. The result will be very nice. And for my third tag, I will go first with a layer of golden sands. I want a base there. And then once everything is dry, then you'll see that I will place back my stencil on top, because I'm going to protect some of those diamonds with some glaze. But I need to make sure that everything is fully dry for the next step. So I reposition my stencil where it should, with a little bit of glaze and a sponge dauber. I'm loading it and then I'm filling those gaps. And even I go on top of the grunge paste itself. So by doing this, I'm protecting again that area. So I'm making sure that wherever I apply the glaze, I keep that yellow. Now that it's dry, I move on and apply some infusions on top of it. I believe this one is Sunset Beach. And as I did before, once I apply some water, then I will heat set. And you may think that the resist didn't work because everything is very red, but once you heat set it very well, you'll see that the yellow starts to pop. Can you see it coming through? So again, this one took a while to dry, but as you will see, it was worth it. So here I'm showing you the 3 tags that I just did with the different details. And as you see, the techniques are quite different and you get very different results. And all of them, I really like them. So because I like them so much, I decided to repeat the same technique, but with a different background pattern. And I swapped colors and I swapped also the sentiments. And since you already know the process, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So first step is stamping. Next step is covering my sentiment with some glaze and the infusions of your choice. In my case, I'm selecting golden sands because I really love it. If for whatever reason you think that the paint is not strong enough, you can either put more infusions on your mix or apply a second layer, as I'm doing here with the Merry Christmas. On the next step, I apply grunge paste. For the first tag, as I did before, I go for a full pattern. So I'm applying the Baroque filigrees up and down. And once I need to go to work on the areas that are in between wet zones, let's call them, then I'll go first and heat set everything that I applied the grunge paste on. So then I can work without any problems and I will not ruin my stencil part. And I apply bits and pieces to get like a uniform pattern. And as you can see, it's just a stripe of Baroque filigrees, but you can apply it anywhere you like and then you can create a seamless pattern. For the next one, as I did before, I'm applying halfway through. And even I'm twisting it. I'm heat setting it and then I'll go to the third one, which I will apply on this case vertically and more sparingly than before. I dry the grunge paste in between layers, and remember, once you finish with your stencil, put it into water or clean it straight away. You don't want the grunge paste to stay on it. And we're done with the grunge paste for the day. Now let's switch to infusions. For the first one, I'm going to apply Sunset Beach. A lot of infusions because I want a lot of color. This will be my thank you card. Then for the next one, I'm going to go for the ink technique, which consists of filling in those gaps with ink. So in the places that I didn't put grunge paste at all, then I would just get the ink. And then for this one, I'm going to apply Slate Blue. And you know what? This color combination really is a winner. I don't know, it's like if it's a aged piece of thing. And I don't know, I mean, that finishing everything with that ink and then the destroyed effect just make like a tag that it's torn, or I don't know. It looks very nice. You'll see it in the pictures. For the next one, as I did before, I'm applying a first layer of infusions with lots of water, drying it, so then I have a base. I heat set it very thoroughly before moving on to the next step, which will be applying the glaze on top. And you will see, once applied the glaze, the infusion starts to react, and actually the result is very nice, and I could stop it there. But I wanted to finish my technique. So I heat set in between layers and filling those gaps of that pattern. You like it like that? I really do. Now everything is heat set, and then I will apply on top Infusions olive tree, and again spritzing with some water. Lots of water and lots of infusions. And then when you heat set it, then you see the magic. So these are the 3 tags with the 3 different techniques. I don't know which one I like most. I'm between the blue and the green one. What do you think? Let me know your favorite in the section comments below. You can also ask me any questions you have. I would respond all the comments. And thank you so much for watching. If you really liked the video, I would really appreciate the thumbs up. So this was all the video for today. I hope you like it. As you can see, there are many other things that I need to share with you, but it will be in another video because this was already long enough. I hope you join me on this release and you go back to my blog and go back to the PaperArtsy blog as well for more details and pictures of everything I've done in this release so far. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!